SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLBS, ha, nothing but the truth.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio, with Andree
and Sky.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to SaySo Radio with Andree and Sky. Sky not here today. But we're going to move on with our show, right? We're going to move on with the show. We have a lot of good things going on in this season, in this segment today. And I want to say hello to my friends who just came in. I was just telling our engineer that they are like my ride or die. Like, I don't care where I'm at. If I'm in the area, I could be rest assured that they're gonna show up wherever I am. And so I just want to just say hello to Betty and Sel for coming out today. We had a great time last weekend. We celebrated his birthday. We had like seafood and fun and karaoke and 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning time. But it was fun. But we're gonna move on with our show, and we do have our morning minutes. And what I want to say for our morning minutes is we have a lot going on. Please stay safe. Continue to stay safe. And I'm not going to speak about the coronavirus because if you look on TV and the news, it's all over the place about the coronavirus. Everybody's talking about it on every channel and every radio station. So, but what I will say is to stay safe. And on this day, Maya Angelou was born. And on this day, Jill Scott was born. And on this day, 2 college dropouts founded Microsoft. And on this day, Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. But what we want to say was that he wasn't dead because we found out later on that one of the nurses actually put the pillow over his face and killed him. But on this day, he was actually shot. We have a wonderful segment today because this is Autism Awareness. And we want to make sure that we tap into that, and we want to make sure that those of you that are listening all over the world be able to call in. We couldn't get our Skype up on our guest today, but we have a wonderful guest coming in today via telephone. So I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to I'm going to call in, patch in my guest today, Shannon, who is a autism activist, and she has a son who has autism. And those of you who are watching, we would like for you to be able to call in and or talk to us about that. But don't touch that dial. Tell your friend, tell your frenemy, tell your neighbor, tell your glaber, whoever it is, don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. here today, but she had sent a whole last week, like a whole list of stuff. So they have like the order. And y'all know me. I ain't going in order that stuff. I'll switch it. That's why the engineers say, "Oh, so today is autism." I'm like, well, the month of April we got this. But anyway, today it is autism awareness, and I want to talk a little bit about autism. There are it became very, very widespread within the last probably about 10 years or so. They started separating it. It is still dealing with children with special needs, but they started separating it, and I want to just talk a little bit about it. That it's a neurological disorder that causes social and communication and behavioral challenges, and more than 3 million cases per year are noted in the U.S. alone. More than 3 million cases in the U.S. And today our guest is Shannon Washington, who is an autism activist, and she's out of Baltimore, Maryland. And she does jewelry called Krystals For Cure. And Shannon, are you with us?
Yes, I am here. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to talk to you a little bit about your journey on this autism spectrum and your personal experience with it. Thank you again for taking the time out today to talk with me today. Share with us a little bit about you and your personal experience with autism.
Well, I've been an autism mother for 21 years now. I have a son. His name is Derron Washington. He's 21. He's became autistic at the age of, we say, 18 months. And 18 months is when we noticed things had started to change for him. He was a 8-pound baby, natural birth, no complications or anything. He walked at 8 months, started talking, and everything was fine. And within around 18 months, it's like a snap of a finger, everything just stopped. The language, the talking, the motor skills, it was just like he went into a daydreaming phase in life, so we thought maybe it was his hearing. Then we thought, other little things that we were thinking it was, and then we said, let's go get him checked out. And then things that the doctors were asking, does he do this, does he do that? And at the time, Derron wasn't doing any of those things and signs they were looking for. So within 2 months later, the shaking of the hands, the rocking, and the change of his language, things just started changing. So then what I did, I totally started educating myself, because back then I never really heard too much about autism. Mm-hmm. All I knew was back then we just knew of the word of someone that was mentally challenged or mentally retarded,
special needs.
But I never heard autism. Mm-hmm. So what my husband and I did, we just started educating ourselves because as we got into it and started learning more, everyone had different stories. So that's when I understood and I learned, okay, it's an umbrella spectrum. There's so many different types of autism and different autism spectrums. So it was challenging, and it was like a yo-yo. It would be challenging through the ages, as he was younger. It was kind of hard, and sometimes I look at everyone's children, who deal with children with autism. I look at it and sometimes I say, not being selfish, but I say we're blessed, because I feel as though God made it easy for me to deal with. I see some parents, and I just go, God, would I be able to handle it? And at the end of the day, I would have to handle it because he's my son, So it had its challenges with it, when you got we call it, the meltdown, the breakdown, the change of life, going through the maturity phase, or, we all know they don't like change at all. So once we change anything that's routine, I gotta be ready. So I have to set myself up like, okay, Shannon, we great change this, so guess what? We're gonna be in the meltdown phase for about 2 or 3 until we get this adjustment, going. So with it has a lot of, challenges in it, but, I just thank God that I'm, we're strong enough that, handle it and, work through it.
So do you have other kids other than Donnie?
No, actually, I do have 4. I have a total of 4, actually.
Okay.
My oldest is 31, 27, 26, 21, and then I have 4 grandchildren.
Okay, so Donnie, I understand that sometimes it could be very, very difficult for parents. And Donnie, speaking of which, though, Donnie looks just like his dad. He looked like his dad's twin. Oh my God, they look exactly alike.
Yes.
Tell me some of the struggles that you had to deal with, especially in regards to like his behavior, even communication, because you said at 18 months, so that wasn't a very back at that time, because Donnie's 21 now, so back then it was not very well recognized back then.
Exactly, and it wasn't, and it was back then. It was tough because I dealt with teachers who thought they knew what autism was, or I dealt with people who thought they knew what autism was, and it was tough because I went through phases where people were looking, I had to go through the phase where people staring if he's having a meltdown, or teachers, they can't deal with him, so they want to sit him in a corner, or we're going to put him in this isolation room. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. You said you were educated. So I went through times where I just wanted to take him out of school and say, you know what, give him here. I'll teach him. I got it.
Wow. Wow.
But it was really rough, or you're trying to work and then you got the teacher's calling. You're going to have to come get him. He's having a meltdown. You're going to have to come get him. He's not listening. So it got to the point I'm like, okay, we got to get these teachers educated, because what is it? How is he going to learn? Which we could teach him ourselves, but how is he going to learn at the same time when the teacher who doesn't want to teach, but that's what you signed up for, So that was pretty troubling for me. And then, like kindergarten, Head Start. Well, actually, let me go back. I'm sorry. He started a program with Child Find. And first, the teacher would come to the house before, and, she introduced her. Her name is Stacy Lutz. She's retired now. I always owe it to her, but I don't want to talk about her because I get so emotional when I talk about her.
Shout out and kudos to his teacher, Stacy.
She's the very first person who made me feel so comfortable. But I'm not going to cry no more. But
no, you can cry.
I owe her. She made me feel so comfortable. And what she said to me, and I always never forget it. You know what she told me? She said, let me tell you something. She said, he's autistic, but he's still your son. She said, don't let the autism control me. I control the autism. And when she said it to me, I said, okay, I got this thing. And when I started listening, I said, and educating, my husband and I, we stayed on the computers. We were going back and forth. Is it through the vaccine shots? We're going back and forth, reading and learning. So we were basically trying to educate ourselves to stay above what we knew was going to be next in the phase of each level of autism, each little umbrella spectrum. We try to educate, like, okay, he's doing this now. Okay, so he's at this age. This should be happening, So where he has the actual persuasive developmental delay, so we studied so much on that. But it was when I say it was tough, some days it still gets tough. When going through school, elementary was pretty much easy. But honey, let me tell you guys, when we got to middle school, it just went from 0 to 100.
Wow.
Because it was, we went to regular school, it was more kids, and then you had the teachers who thought they can handle it, and then my son, he knew and he knows if you're genuine. Okay. And he could feel it. And I always tell him, it was something I said, God always gave him a discernment. Any class that he went to when it was time to get a new teacher, I knew before I could say hi to the teacher if she was the one for him. I felt as though God gave me that discernment. He gave me the gift and everything. And it was like I knew. And every time I was right. There was not one time that I was never wrong. And I had 2 incidents when I met these teachers and I said, this is not going to work. And I know it's not going to work. They were like, no, just give it a try. I'll give them 2 months. Guess what? I had to move my baby because it was like he knows if you're genuine and you really care and love. And that's why I always say, just because he's autistic, please don't think he does not know. They know. They know, you know. But I went through a lot with like the teachers. That was my hardest thing because I knew some of these teachers were just teaching for checks. I knew when the teachers were frustrated. And then my thing was, if you're calling me, I'm going to come get them. And then everybody, well, you don't have to come get him. Then why are you calling? You know, I went through where some of the teachers will call me and say, hey, Derron did this today. He did that. I know what he could do wrong. Make me have a good day. Tell me what my baby done good. You know, they want to call me and tell me he kicked the desk. He knocked the paper over. You know, I want to hear a good report. You know,
we're gonna have to give me 1 second. It's our 11:30 Express Yourself time, and we have to do our Express Yourself, and we'll come right back to our autism. This is our Express Yourself time, where people get an opportunity to call in and express themselves about what's going on with them. Give us 1 second. Shannon will be right back to you on Express Yourself. Call in at 301-442-1716. Express Yourself time. Anybody got something they want to express that they're dealing with and going through? We can express yourselves right now. Joe, express yourself. You guys have something you want to express on the show today? Today, express yourself. I want to express myself today. Where's our song? Express Yourself by Joe. I do have 2 new projects that came out. I think I could probably show them to you on here. I sent them to the station. I have a new book that's going to be released called I Am Beautiful. And it's about, there it is. It's a guide for teen girls to help them know their worth. And it's because growing up, I wasn't shown. There it is. There it is. Express yourself. And this is the time where we just actually talk about what's going on with us. So I Am Beautiful actually encourages girls to know their worth and know who they are and understand that they are beautiful on the inside. And because when you're beautiful on the inside, it shows on the outside. And as a young girl who had dealt with molestation and rape and things like that, and witnessing domestic abuse as a child, I was not given the gifts or the tools to show me what to do and the things to look for. So this is a guide for young girls. And my other book is called Freedom from the Bondage of Brokenness. Now, I know when you see that, that's actually coming out in about a week or 2. That book talks about, when you look at it, you probably think it's a lot of different sad stories and things like that, but it's not. It's a spinoff from my book titled Being Made Whole. But what it is about, it's a guide to forgiveness, dare to dream, and things like that. It's about living your life of freedom. I, as a former pastor, I'm still an evangelist, but as a former pastor, was always in bondage of what people thought about me, and how I couldn't do the things that I longed to do because I had this shadow over me, and realizing that I had put God in a box. And it was amazing because I was talking to my 19-year-old just sitting on the bed yesterday, and she was saying, Mommy, you know, you kept saying to me, you're a pastor's kid and people are always watching. And she said, and because of that, I felt like I was in bondage because I wasn't able to be a child. I had to just live this rigid lifestyle. And I thank God for the covering that I have now, my pastor, because he pushes me to live beyond my dreams. And that's what I do now. I just try to teach people to just stop giving everybody what you can give them and save some for yourself. So that's our express yourself moment. And also to make sure you set boundaries. Do not settle in your boundaries. Stop hurting yourself to make other people happy. You want to make sure that you're happy and you're whole within yourself, because when you're able to do that, it shows and illuminates, and you will be able to have happy places and happy spaces and happy boundaries. And that's our express yourself moment. And now we'll get back to our show and back to speaking with Shannon about our autism moments. All right? We'll get back to Shannon. That is Solange, Cranes in the Sky musical. Let's make sure we're back. 1 second. Got to get her on here. Shannon, you with us?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You know, I wanted to send a picture, and I have a grandson who is he's 5 years old, and when I tell you he is, oh my God, that little boy. I don't think I sent the picture yet, but I will send it. I want to make sure I have permission to use this picture, but I'm almost certain that I do. He is one of the loves of my life. Sky's little boy. Maybe she'll call in the station today. But my grandson, last week he went outside and he picked me Daisy. He has autism, and when he was born, Sky kept saying that there's something different about him. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, Mommy, it's something different about him. And I was like, okay. But when I tell you, he's the sweetest little boy. And last week he kept going outside picking me up daisies. And he said, Manna, because he calls me Manna. Manna, I picked you daisies. And I said, yes, you did. And because he doesn't, I realized that they don't really know like the days of the week and all that kind of stuff. So when somebody does something to him, so, well, when did I do that? You can't say that to him because he don't remember. That is one of the things that I realized with him. Like even when the teacher spanked him or something like that, he came home and said that to his mother. And one thing I realized, they're very bright children. So tell me some of the problems that you had with Donnie and people misunderstanding him or misunderstanding him. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tell me some of the problems. I'm sorry,
His name is Derron.
Derron. I don't know why I keep saying Donnie. One of my kids' names is Donnie. One of the children that are in Florida, his sister name is Des, and she's a cerebral palsy, and her brother name is Donnie. But I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Tell me about Derron. Sorry. Can you wait a minute? Let's go back to some of those bracelets, because she does bracelets and jewelry. There it is. Derron rocks. There it is. Hashtag Derron rocks. Yeah. Okay, so those are some of the jewelry that she does for autism. There it is. Krystals For Cure. And we want to make sure that Derron rocks. There it is. And I put my little blue buzzard out today too for him. There's my blue buzzard. I put the blue out there. Tell us about the blue. First, I want to talk about, because Scott told me sometimes I got to slow down. So I want to talk about the problems that you had with Derron being misunderstood, one, and then two, about the blue for him.
Okay.
All right.
The misunderstanding, I think, with most of them, with the people that, society, I think they all have with autism. Some of them think autism has a look, that has a look, and they don't have a look, Some where I understood, where my opinion is, where I noticed with some of the teachers or just people around, when they're not educated with autism, they think, well, for an example, say if he's having a bad day and you came in and you spoke to him too aggressively, where you spoke to a normal, healthy child, and he may not like the way you spoke to him. Some people will think, I had to deal with people who thought they knew. Oh, he's fine. No, no, he's good. And I'm saying to myself, no, he's not good. I know what's wrong with him. So that's a lot for me to deal with when I hear people try to tell me, what's wrong with him. Or some people look at it as if, because like I said, when I say we're blessed with him, he does a lot. He's very, like, just about normal, but he has his, autistic ways. We're still learning. He can talk, he tell you what he wants, but he has a lot of times we have to learn how to, work out certain other words. But dealing with, just having to deal with the people, that's kind of hard for me, dealing with people who want to try to tell me about him when I know that they're not even, educated. Or they may see me deal with him, or my husband and I, or his sisters and brothers deal with him in a certain way. They think they can try it, or they can work it their way. And that's one other thing, when you try to tell them how to work with him, or how to, this is what works for him, and I'm telling you what's working for him. When you're not there, like for us teachers, and you're not there, they want to go, I'm not going to try it her way. My way will work. And then once their way don't work, then it's a whole nother big explosion. So then we got to work and bring him back down to where we, had him at.
Wow. So tell to me about your de-escalation moments. How do you de-escalate Derron when he's having a moment?
Derron, we always say, Derron's a big teddy bear. He's 6 foot and he's a big boy. And if you see him hit a desk, kick a chair or something, you get intimidated. Oh God, this big boy ready to knock me down. Derron, when I tell you, he is just the biggest lovable teddy bear. I can go to him, or just rub his back, rub his arm, rub his hair, anything, and he'll just calm right down.
Wow.
And never have it. Or the funniest thing, if he's having a meltdown, I come over there and I just look at him. He go, mother, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, mother. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
And that's the thing with him. If he's having a bad day and he knows, and he'll see you look at him, he knows what he just did is wrong.
Okay.
But that's just his way of expressing himself. So if you're trying to force him to work and he doesn't, he'll break the pencil or tear the paper up. And you go to Derron, he'll just go, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So then we know, just let him sit. If he wants to sit for 5-10 minutes, we let him sit. If he wants to walk around, we let him walk around. If he wants to walk through the living room, run up and down the steps, for, a few minutes, how you would say, we give him his space, and then he'll just calm straight back down. Or sometimes we'll just sit there with him and then talk. And then he always mimics me because he's a movie critic and he loves to do movies very loud. So if he's yelling, I'll go, Derron, he'll go, yeah, mother. And then we'll be like, stop yelling, and then he'll stop yelling. But if he watches certain movies, it really makes him kind of mad, but he likes to watch them, but it turns him up. So when we have to bring him down, he'll get upset when we turn the computer off, but then he'll wait. And we're just more like we just do a pause game with him. We'll just walk, talk, or rub on him, and that brings him down. Sometimes we used to use a brush when he was younger, like a little soft bristle brush, and just rub it on his hand. Just rub it. And he'll sit there and still work with the one hand, but he'll just let you rub his hand. And then you'll just notice the de-escalation, and he'll just go straight down, like nothing ever happened.
So let's go back to some of the jewelry. Let's look at that. Let's talk about that. The jewelry. Move over a couple of the right there. Some of the jewelry that you do for Krystals For Cure. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Now, the jewelry, it came up with autism. I started out making a necklace. I love Swarovski crystals, so that's why I came up with the name Krystals, because people thought my name was Crystal. But I love crystals. So I had found these little nickel-plated puzzle pieces, and I just came up with an idea, and I just started putting Swarovski crystals in the puzzle pieces, and I made them all for my family. And next thing you know, people was like, where'd you get that? Oh my God. So I started she wanted one, he wanted one. I started ordering.
Uh-huh.
So then I worked at the hospital at night. So I started making bracelets. I was registration. I started making bracelets. And as I was making the bracelets, they were like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Can I get one? Can I get one? And when I tell you I've been blessed with that, it has went from that to, I've been in it now for like 5 years, 6 years straight.
Wow.
I'm in it too far where I can't even stop.
Wow.
So it came into where I started just making all awareness jewelry. So it was cancer, kidney cancer, aneurysm,
Wow.
liver, bladder cancer, anything. So I have a chart. I go off the color and I just start designing. No two bracelets are the same unless someone asks for it. And it's like if you ask for something and you kind of tell me what you want, I go off what you ask me what you want, and I just started creating it. So that's how it really got started. I was just making it for my children and my husband, and it just went from there.
That is
so,
amazing.
And then it started going into, children's diseases, domestic abuse, and then I started getting invited to all these events. And then I just said, hey, I think I'm going to something. And actually, I make other jewelry. It started, when I started with the awareness, it started into the fashion line. Then people was like, well, can you do this and do that? But my main focus is with the autism, and then it turned into awareness.
Wow.
So when, and then I love to bless people. If I saw someone, who just suffered from breast cancer or whatever, a lot of times I just say, you know what? I'll contact somebody who knows somebody, get the information, and I'll just bless them with a bracelet, And little things like that makes people just feel so good. They're just feeling blessed, and they're like, oh my God, just to wear something to represent the pain and everything that they went through, just to put a smile on someone's face, and it makes me, feel good. I even make the ribbons, the puzzles, because with the pins, they're always hard to order. So I even created where I took the puzzles and I learned how to spray paint the puzzles blue. Then I create a ribbon. I glue the ribbon on it, do the pin. So I like to give those out.
That's
I even give it to
awesome.
we have a pizza shop around here. Derron gets pizza every Friday, and he has to have pizza every Friday at 7:00.
Wow.
And if we don't, it's not gonna be pretty.
Wow.
So he has to have 2 pizza, and he tells you every Friday, it's pizza day. It's pizza day.
Wow.
So you gotta have his pizza. Even the pizza shop, they support us. They put the balloons up for them every year. I give them ribbons. They all wear their ribbons. So it just started out with the jewelry, and then it just went from there. Like I said, I'm really, really blessed to do that.
Wow, that's amazing. Simply amazing. So how can our viewers all over the world reach you and get in touch with you if they're interested? Oh, that's right, the blue. We keep it blue for Derron. So what does the blue stand for?
Blue started with the autism.
Okay.
Because first, at one time, autism was always what? Multicolored.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, they started celebrating blue.
Okay.
So, and then the thing was, blue is my favorite color.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's why I say we keep it blue. And I always say autism rocks. I mean, Derron rocks. Because people always say, why you say autism rocks and Derron rocks? Yeah, he does rock. And if people really know about autism, think about it. A lot of them do rock. They rock back and forth. So we just came with Derron rocks.
Wow.
But my baby does rock.
Yeah.
We're going all the way to the top with this. So
I called
he's really
you.
an awesome kid.
I called you this morning, and I promise you, he was on first thing this morning. He was up with his music, ready to rock. He was ready to go.
Yes. Let me tell you, the music comes on in our house. When Derron wakes up, he has an iPad hooked onto a surround speaker. He turns on, he has to listen to 92Q, okay? And he knows every station.
Wow.
And he turns it on. So when people call me and I'm in the kitchen cooking or doing something, they be like, oh, you in club? We call it Club Derron.
Wow.
And Derron does not turn the music on. Fridays, the music goes off at 10. Friday,
Wow.
Saturday, Sunday, the music goes off at 10. Sunday morning, he'll turn on gospel. He calls it Church Jesus. He said, Mother, we have to turn on Church Jesus. I said, that's right, baby.
Oh, wow.
And on the weekdays, The club does not close at 12 o'clock, so we call it Club Derron, and I can't turn it off. Please don't turn the music off. Don't.
Wow.
So we just learned to live through it. It's like now it doesn't even, phase us. The music's on.
So you have actually tailored your life to complement Derron.
Exactly.
And
I'm his advocate, and I speak for him.
Right.
We speak for him.
And so, and it's great when you have parents that could actually speak and do, because we are their eyes and their ears, and you are his keeper, and so I just applaud you. Could you tell us where your social media information is, where your store is, or your website and things like that?
My Facebook for Krystals For Cure is Krystals For Cure, and that's with a K. Krystals For FORACURE. That's my Facebook, Krystals For Cure with a K. My Instagram is Krystals, the number 4, a cure. It's my IG. That's Krystals, KRYSTALS, the number 4, a CURE. And that's for my jewelry.
Okay, so you guys have that, Krystals with a K. I think we have the the blue diamond thing on there somewhere.
Yeah.
Where you got, there it is, Krystals For a Cure. That's it right there. And you're right, autism used to have like a lot of different colors and things like that.
Yeah,
but I do like the blue. I do like the blue. Purple is one of my favorite colors. And there are different spectrums of autism, and I'm so grateful that you joined us. You gave us lots and lots of information, and we're happy that you, Krystals For Cure, does different bracelets for all types of causes, and I do want to get some done for the domestic violence and cancer, because one of my guests, her daughter has cancer, correct? What stage is it? Stage 4? Stage 4 cancer. So we want to get some bracelets done for them. And it's amazing because they did say that she wouldn't be here past October, but she's still here. And so that's a reason to celebrate. And
yes, it is.
A lot of times we're living in a time we got to trust God. And I tell people all the time, we can't really believe what man says. We got to truly believe what God says. And that's how I roll. I believe the report of God. And but we thank you, Shannon, for coming on and blessing us and sharing Derron with us, sharing your husband, sharing your story, sharing your gift and your life with us, and your journey of autism. Again, you can reach her at Krystals For Cure on Facebook, and Krystals, the number 4, a cure, on Instagram. Reach out to her. Let her know you've seen it. Follow us at SaySo Radio on YouTube, all social media platforms. I just looked at YouTube. I was like, wait a minute. We ain't had no subscribers because we've been too busy doing it on the social media's Facebook stuff. So you guys have to follow us on YouTube. And thank you so much. And until next time, keep living, keep giving, but most of all, keep loving. Thank you. I'm Andree, and I'm out.
SaySo, radio, SaySo, radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. And give the credit where it's due. WLBS, nothing but the truth.
SaySo, radio, SaySo.